In the far reaches of the Andromeda Sector, there existed an empire so vast that even light feared to cross it. The Zytherion Empire, and at its center ruled her, Empress Virelith. Not loved, not hated, just obeyed. For 200 years she had ruled without challenge. No one spoke her name aloud anymore, not because it was forbidden, but because it was forgotten. Even the highest generals referred to her as Your Majesty. Never Virelith, never anything more human than that, because she had become something beyond a person, a living empire, a walking law of the universe. But the Empress had a secret, a silence inside her that had lasted 2 centuries. She had not heard her own name spoken by another soul in 200 years. Part 2. The human who should not exist. On a forgotten mining colony at the edge of a dead star system, a human ship drifted in silence. Its pilot was nothing special, just a scavenger, a man named Kael Rowan. He survived by stealing broken tech from abandoned alien ruins, until the day he found it, a crystal archive. Inside it, a recording, a voice repeating a name, soft, fragile, broken. Virelith. Kael froze. Something about the name didn't feel like information, felt like memory, like the universe itself had whispered it once, and regretted losing it. He didn't know who she was, but he said it aloud anyway. Virelith. And across galaxies, the Empress opened her eyes. Part 3. The day the Empress stirred. In the Zytherion throne world, alarms did not ring. They stopped working, because the Empress had moved. For the first time in decades, she stood from her throne. Every advisor panicked. Your Majesty, what is your command? But she didn't answer, because she was listening for something impossible. Again, somewhere in the universe, a human voice had said her name, not a title, not a rank. Her name. She whispered. Who spoke it? The throne room shook, because no one had heard her whisper in centuries either. Part 4. The impossible summoning. Kael was not prepared for what happened next. His ship was pulled out of space like it had been grabbed by a god. Stars bent, reality folded, and suddenly, he was standing in a hall made of floating black glass and burning starlight, surrounded by silent alien warriors. And at the end of it all, she stood, Empress Virelith, wearing a crown that looked like a shattered galaxy held together by gravity itself. Her eyes locked onto him instantly. You, she said softly. Kael raised his hands. Okay, I don't know what I did, but I didn't mean it. Say it again, she interrupted. Silence. Kael frowned. Say what? Her voice lowered. My name. Part 5. The name that broke time. Kael hesitated. The entire throne world was watching. One wrong word and he was dead. But something about her stopped fear from working properly. So he said it again, slowly, carefully. Virelith. The moment it left his lips, the universe reacted. The throne room cracked with light. The Empress staggered. Her crown flickered. And for the first time in 200 years, it slipped, not off her head, but out of reality itself. It fell, slowly, like gravity had forgotten how to hold it. Gasps echoed everywhere. The crown of Zytherion. Falling. Impossible. Part 6. The Empress without her crown. The crown shattered into starlight before it touched the ground. Silence. Absolute silence. The generals dropped to their knees in panic. No. No one can break the crown of sovereignty. But Virelith didn't move. She looked at Kael. Not angry, not shocked, just different. Like a door inside her had finally opened. She whispered. You said it correctly. Kael swallowed. That's bad. She stepped closer. No. Pause. It's been 200 years since anyone said it as if I was real. Part 7. The truth of the Empress. Kael finally found his voice. Who are you? She answered simply. I am what remains when names are erased. I am what holds empires together when no one remembers why they exist. Kael shook his head. That doesn't answer anything. Her expression softened. Because the answer is dangerous. She raised her hand, and the entire throne room froze in place. Except Kael. You are not supposed to be here, she said. Kael laughed nervously. Yeah, I figured that out. But then she said something that froze him instead. You are the only human in history who remembered my name. Part 8. The Lost Memory War. She walked around him slowly. And because of that, you triggered something ancient. Kael frowned. What kind of something? The Empress paused, then answered. A war that erased my past. Projection appeared in the air. Stars burning. Civilizations collapsing. And a younger Virelith, standing beside a human man. Kael's eyes widened. That's me? No, she said quietly. That is who you were before your memories were removed. Kael stepped back. I don't remember any of this. The Empress nodded. I know. I removed it. Part 9. Why she erased him. Kael's voice cracked. You erased my memory? Yes. Why? Her eyes darkened. Because you were the only one I ever trusted. Pause. And the only one who ever called me by my name without fear. Silence swallowed everything. Kael didn't know what to say, so she continued. You died in the rebellion war. I refused to accept it. So I rebuilt you. Into a human who could survive without remembering me. Kael whispered. That's insane. She nodded. Yes. I have been insane for 200 years. Part 10. The Crownless Empress. Outside the throne world, the Empire began to panic. A signal spread. The crown has fallen. The Empress is unstable. Armies prepared for rebellion. But inside the throne hall, Virelith stood still, crownless, powerless in the way empires understood power. But something unexpected happened. She looked lighter. Kael noticed it. You don't seem angry, she replied. I am relieved. He blinked. Relieved? She nodded. Without the crown, I can finally be myself. Part 11. The choice of two futures. The empire outside demanded answers. Kael looked at her. So what happens now? She turned to him. I have two choices. Rebuild the crown, or let the empire fall. Kael frowned. That's not a real choice. She smiled slightly. It is now. A long silence. Then Kael said, I don't know who I was to you, but I think I'd hate being the reason a galaxy burns. The Empress studied him. Then what do you suggest? Kael looked at her directly. For the first time in 200 years. Don't be Empress. Pause. Just be Virelith. Part 12. The moment the Empress disappeared, the throne room went silent again. Then she slowly removed the remnants of her broken crown, and let it dissolve into light. Every system in the Empire froze. Every AI stopped calculating. Every soldier waited for annihilation. But nothing came. Instead, the Empress smiled, and said, I forgot what that sounded like. Kael asked, What? My name, she replied, ending. And in a galaxy built on silence, one human voice speaking a forgotten name changed everything. Not through war, not through power, but through remembrance. And somewhere in the universe, the Empress was no longer just a ruler. She was finally a person again. Final CTA? Exact line. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life.